Good morning, dear students. So today I will be discussing on breakdown in solid medium, and this will be the third dielectric medium. So now you look at the breakdown in solids. So breakdown is a complex phenomenon in case of solids and varies depending upon the time of application of voltage. So the time of application plays a very important role in breaking down the process or blowing down the process. For our discussion purpose, it is convenient to divide uh, the theories into different groups. These are the different theories: intrinsic, electromechanical, streamer theory, thermal breakdown, erosion, and electrochemical theory. These are the theories at different time of applications. You can have a look at this log time in the x-axis and breakdown strength in the y-axis, and the graph reveals about variation of breakdown strength with the time after application of voltage. So when voltage is applied, when you are going to apply voltages to any dielectric material, that means to any solid dielectric material, only for a short duration of 10 to the power of minus 8 seconds. Here the 10 to the power of minus 8 seconds are suitable for solid dielectric materials. The dielectric strength of that solid dielectric material increases very rapidly to an upper limit called intrinsic electric strength, that is called as intrinsic electric strength. That is the highest dielectric strength can be obtained only under the best experimental conditions. You can obtain those dielectric strength at best experimental conditions, and the maximum dielectric strength of this intrinsic breakdown is 15 megavolt per centimeter, and that too for polyvinyl alcohol at minus 196 degree Celsius. So this intrinsic breakdown depends upon the presence of free electrons which are capable of doing lattice of an dielectrics, and a small number of electrons which are present in the solid dielectrics along with some structural imperfections and small amount of impurities. That is what the intrinsic breakdown is, and this intrinsic breakdown is of two types. So one is electronic breakdown, the next one is the avalanche or streamer breakdown. This electronic breakdown and streamer breakdown will come under intrinsic breakdown. So then these are the types of intrinsic breakdowns. First is electronic breakdown, next is avalanche or streamer breakdown. Then what is electronic breakdown? So the same intrinsic breakdown occurs in a time of 10 to the power of minus 8 seconds, and therefore it is assumed to be electronic in nature. Because of the 10 to the power of minus 8 second, the order what you were mentioning in intrinsic breakdown, that is 10 to the power of minus 8 seconds. So it is also within that order only, that electronic breakdown, and therefore it is assumed to be electronic in nature. So when an electric field is applied, if you are going to apply any electric field, the electron gain energy from the electric field and cross the energy gap from the valence to the conduction band. So when this process proceeds, or when this process is continuously moving, more and more electrons will be liberated, and that is what your electronic breakdown. And avalanche breakdown is this is a picture of avalanche breakdown as a movement of electron. So this is similar to that of breakdown in gases due to cumulative ionization. You have already studied the ionization. It is similar to that of ionization only. For avalanche, in the generalized example is in icebergs dumping. That is an example for avalanche or sudden movement of icebergs. So avalanche breakdown. So this is similar to the breakdown in gases due to the cumulative ionizations and conduction of electron gain sufficient energy about the certain critical conditions. So under uniform field conditions, if you are going to under uniform field conditions, if the electrodes are within the limit, the breakdown will going to occur when an electron bridge creates a gap. That is what your avalanche or streamer breakdown. The next is electromechanical breakdown. This is the second one. First is intrinsic. In intrinsic, we have studied electronic and avalanche. And the next is electromechanical breakdown. This is an electromechanical breakdown. And these are some of the equations for electromechanical breakdown. So when a dielectric, if you want to define or if you want to give information about the electromechanical breakdown, it states like this. When a dielectric material is subjected to an electric field, charges of opposite nature are induced on two small opposite surfaces of the material, and hence force of attractions will be developed, and the specimen is subjected to electrostatic compressive forces. That electrostatic compressive forces is nothing but an electromechanical breakdown. That means some mechanical frictions will be there in between or among the electrons. So when these forces exceeds the mechanical withstand strength of the material will going to collapse. The material will going to collapse. This is very important. If coming to this equation, if we are going to consider a material which is having a thickness of d naught and compression, when it is compressed, its thickness is d. So when you are going to apply voltage, that is V, then the compressive developed forces or compressive developed due to electric stress or electric field, that is given by this epsilon naught V square 2 by d square, that is given by Y ln d naught by d. So d naught is thickness of material and d is compressed thickness and V is compressive stress. This V is compressive stress, and it is given by this equation epsilon naught r V square by 2d square. Epsilon naught is absolute permittivity, epsilon r is relative permittivity. It will be 1 for a vacuum. Always it will be in vacuum only, that's why it is 1 only. So epsilon naught V square by 2d square, and that epsilon is replaced by y into ln d naught by d. This equation you have already studied. How you are going to get y ln d naught by d? So this y stands for Young's modulus. This is an Young's modulus. And this is the equation for Young's modulus V square into d square 2y epsilon naught epsilon. If you want the equation for V square, we just operate it to left or right side, you will get V. So usually the mechanical instability occurs when the d by d naught is equal to 0.6. So mechanical instability will going to appear when there is any mechanical stress occurs between the electrons. Then instability will take place or instability occurs. That is when it is 0.6, and definitely the instability will going to occur. And the next is the highest apparent electric stress before the breakdown is given by this equation, and this equation is only approximate as y depends on the mechanical stress. This is an approximate equation whenever this y depends on the mechanical stress. That is what an electromechanical breakdown. The next is thermal breakdown. So this thermal breakdown deals with the heat. So when an insulating material is subjected to any electric field, the material gets heated up due to the conduction current and dielectric losses. So that is due to a polarization. It all occurs due to a polarization. So and the conductivity of the material increases with increase in the temperature, and the condition of instability is reached when the heat generated exceeds the heat dissipated. For example, if the conductivity of the material is going to increase, if imbalance occurs, that means so heat generated exceeds heat dissipated. If heat generated exceeds heat dissipated, the conductivity of the material is going to increase in case of thermal breakdowns. So these are the various heat curves corresponding to different electric stresses as a function of specimen temperatures, as a function of specimen temperatures. These in the y-axis temperature is there, in the in the x-axis temperature, and y-axis heat gain or loss. So that's what I was talking. So if heat generated exceeds the heat dissipated, the conductivity of the material will going to increase. If it less than that, if heat generated less than the, if the heat generated is less than the heat dissipated, then there is no conductivity, or conductivity of the material decrease. Actually, it has to increase with respect to this concept. It should not decrease, it has to increase only. And this is what the equation, the heat generated under DC stress is given by, when you going to apply any DC voltages, there will be a stress. So that stress is given by WDC is equal to E square sigma. So where sigma is the DC conductivity of this specimen, and under EC fields the heat generated WEC is equal to E square F ER tan delta 1.8 into 10 power of 12. This is a direct equation, so no need to derive this equation. That's why I have not derived this equation. You just have to remember this equation for the exam point of view. So where F stands for frequency in hertz, delta is a loss angle, that is nothing but a tan angle, loss angle of a dielectric material, and E is a RMS value. So next is the heat dissipated is given by Wt is equal to Cv dt by capital dt by small dt plus divergence of K, Kd and T. Divergence div indicates the divergence. Look at this. Cv specific heat of a specimen, T is temperature of the specimen, K is thermal conductivity of the specimen, and T is time over which heat is dissipated. So you just have to remember these three equations in case of thermal breakdown. These three are very important. And this is thermal instability in solid dielectrics. So this solid metal is considered as a dielectric only. So here the heat is, this is last slide. So in this case heat is lost shown by a straight line. This is the line. So this is a heat lost line. While the heat generated at fields of E1 and E2 are shown by separate curves. These are the heat generated curves. At field E1, at field E1, the breakdown occurs both at temperature TA and Tb. So in the temperature region, that is TA and Tb, in this region, in between TA and Tb, the heat generated in between this region, the heat generated is less than heat lost for the field E2. Hence the breakdown will not going to occur. It means the heat generated is less than heat lost. So that's why the breakdown will not going to occur at E2. That is what the thermal breakdown is. So in the next class we are going to discuss about electrochemical breakdown. Thank you.